out to my friends from Goodfellas TV, from Alexis Too Sexy Salazar.
All right, man. Word on the street is that Ruiz, Luis Ortiz barely cracks 40,000 pay-per-view buys. Let's talk about it. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe button, hit the bell icon button, hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop a video. Now, you know, when on pay-per-views, when it gets to Friday, you don't hear nothing about the pay-per-view numbers, you know that the pay-per-view was a flop. A flippity, flop, 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 flop it like it's hot. My boy Wayne say, CMB, make it drop it like it's hot. Before the lean and all the pills and shit. So, I mean, we already knew what it was. They said the prelims did under 500,000. You understand how bad that is? For a program to do under 500,000 on regular Fox, do you understand how bad that really is? It's atrocious. And they didn't even take 10% of the people, 10% of the people didn't even cross over to the pay-per-view event. Come on, not even 10% of the people, bro. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it don't surprise me, man. It wasn't a pay-per-view fight. You got people saying, well, why are you guys saying it's not a pay-per-view fight? Then you got people saying, why you guys don't say Wilder and Helenius is a pay-per-view fight? When people say shit like that and they defend PBC's tomfoolery, right? They don't know what real boxing is. They have no idea what real boxing is. They don't know. They don't know what real boxing is. I hate to break it to you. They have no idea what real boxing is. Straight up and down, just like that. Those ain't even grade A HBO After Dark main events. Because you can't call it championship boxing because neither one of them is championship boxing. So you can't call it championship boxing. I mean, yeah. Not HBO championship boxing. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's not my money they losing. And truth be told, I ain't even really watched the card. I think somebody had said in the Discord, or somebody hit me up like, well, Rayo lose, and I turned and he was just getting knocked out. And then in my peripheral, it was kind of like the Eastside Cruz knockout. In my peripheral. So, I really didn't watch the card. That's why I ain't report on none of the fights. Other than the Rayo fight, and that's because that was surprising that he lost. You know? So, at the end of the day, that's a regular TV card, and when you can't afford Martin and Ortiz, Ruiz and Ortiz, and Wilder and Helenius, dude, just get the hell out of boxing. If the network can't put the money up for those pedestrian fights, then and the bag is the fighters' purses, those fighters' purses too big to put on regular TV, then there need to be some reality checking going around. You hear, you know, people saying, well, Deontay Wilder, you know, one of the reasons that he was constantly coming back is they didn't have all his money. Wilder ain't worth $20 million a fight. Because you're going to take a loss. You basically just giving up $20 million, and I'm just being real. You got to think, him and Luis Ortiz fought a second time, right? They fought a second time, and they was letting people in free into the fight. They was letting people in the fight for free just to sit down and make the crowd look full. It needed to be some reality checking. I understand what the purses say about what this guy deserves and what's your minimum and all that type of shit, man. What the contract say, but they ain't worth it, dude. Y'all tell me how the Mexicans buy shit. The Mexicans ain't come support Ruiz. You know, one of two active top 10, top 15 heavyweight Mexican contenders, and they come out and spend no big money. I like that. They come break no bread off Andy Ruiz. They disrespect the black dollar so bad, right? They disrespect the dollar. The Mexican ain't putting no fucking money up. Her Canelo numbers out there flopping too. The one that was on PBC, and we know that people flop it like it's how we know it flopped. We know it went triple wood. We know it. But they keep telling you how, you know, Mexican dollar and all this shit, man. Ain't nobody buying no bull crap. Ain't nobody buying the BS of the BS of the BC, the bull crap of the bull-ish. And that's what it is. When you build a fighter up properly, you build them up right, you build them up in the right accessibility where everybody can see. And when it's done right, then you can take on the pay-per-view and start building. You can't build somebody up on a closed network, bro. You can't. And also, you notice with the UFC, they putting everything on pay-per-view. Everything on UFC. And I be watching like some of their regular cards that when they have them here and there, you know what I'm saying? And they be entertaining, but their regular TV numbers don't really be doing too much better than top ranks numbers on ESPN. That's the wild shit about it. So you gotta understand it's an oversaturation of combat sports on pay-per-view, and people gonna buy the better product, which is the UFC. That's just what it is. They gonna keep buying that shit. When the UFC survived the John Jones, Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor little, turbulence they had, and that Khabib and Conor McGregor shit happened in Vegas, we jumped out the ring and all that shit, man. That was the best thing that ever happened to mixed martial arts. I ain't gonna lie, man, I watched that shit. I'm mad as hell I ain't paid for that. I want to send Dana White a $75, $80 check for not paying for that shit, low key. You know what I'm saying? That shit was entertainment. And I know they was mad that, Khabib dad, Wrestle Power, said, he said he gonna put it on him, and, Dana White apologized, but that's the best shit that ever could have happened. You can't, man, boxing couldn't even give you a WWE type of promo of that shit. That's orchestrated, that's written. They don't even have the characters to pull that shit off. Ain't nobody in boxing, right, and active in boxing is like Conor McGregor. And ain't really nobody no real fucking badass like Khabib neither. And the guys that real badass like Khabib, like Terrence Crawford, can't even get the fights that he need to prove to fans that he that guy. Just being honest. Everybody in boxing is inconsistent. And we see how many people report how this shit flopped. Rick Glazer said 40, it barely cracked 40K. Keith Thurman did like 30. Dirty. But they talking about boxing is alive and well and all that type of shit. Man, that's wild to me. That's super duper wild. But it is what it is. Now everybody say, well, streaming is changing, and streaming is changing a lot of the numbers. But boxing going down fast. They ain't going nowhere fast. They going down fast. You going down, boy, too bad, feel sorry for you. Come on, man. They ain't even enough to break bread for the fighters' purses. They ain't enough shit. They ain't enough shit for money. They ain't even enough shit for money. They ain't enough money. They ain't enough money to do shit. Who that is? I forgot the controller for my watch. But ain't enough money. But like I said before, and then also the fight failed to live up to expectations. So it was like, it's one of them usual boxing feelings where you like, man, damn, I'm glad I streamed that shit. Or damn, if I bought it, I should have streamed that. You can't really blame Andy for Ruiz. He was in there with a power puncher, and he countered the counter puncher, and the counter puncher is not good at cutting the ring off and being the aggressor. I told y'all that. If Andy Ruiz boxed smart, I thought he would just box smart, but he showed that Andy Ruiz showed that he could be the total package. He can walk you down, he can box you, he can utilize the ring, he can take a punch, and he can counter punch. Defense got to be cleaned up a little bit more, but come on, what that would have done for the Ruiz brand by doing that on regular Fox. I don't understand the way I understand the way he's thinking because he ain't got no money. But in the grand scheme of things, and he got contracts that got certain guarantees and certain promises that he promised these dudes. But how can Andrew Ruiz get the real pot of gold? Him and Wilder get the real pot of gold, or whatever they aiming for. You feel me? How can they do that if nobody's watching, bro. That's the whole point of having the last football is Sunday benefit of that Sunday date. It was the last Sunday without football with Fox. You put it on regular TV so everybody can see it. You can grow the sport. You can grow Ortiz brand. Even in the loss, you can grow Ruiz playing. Even in the loss, you can grow Rayo. You can grow De Los Santos. You can grow Isak Cruz. By putting it on pay-per-view, you're not growing shit. Only people that's really streaming that is hardcore fans. So y'all don't do shit for us. Y'all don't make shit accessible and affordable for us. But you growing the sport by our word of mouth and our vlogging and shit. But it's not gonna work unless you tap in and reach out to the fans yourself. That's the only way that's gonna work. You have to put it on where casual fans can see it and have a vested interest. Man, come on, bruh. Man, these people be driving stupid. That's the only way. And if you can't afford those fighters, if you can't afford them, you know, my word of advice is get the hell out the sport. Rip their contracts up, sell their contracts, and get out the sport. You wasting your fucking time. You wasting your time. Because all Al Heyman is doing is losing his own money. Or losing the investors' money. And obviously you don't care if it's the investors' money because it ain't my money. But hey, it is what it is. Y'all know what the business is. Goodfella TV, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notification. We go live and drop a video. Financially, you want to support the channel, Cash App, $CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal link in the description. All my social media links there. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, the whole nine. One time for one time, peace.